going.
It's on its way.
Correctamundo. Now make sure to turn your phone down, Joe.
Hello, everybody. My phone is
Hello.
way down.
Going.
It's on its on. But here we are.
Very good. Now make sure to turn your phone down, Joe.
Please. Hello, everybody.
Why didn't that
No,
turn?
it's not me.
Okay. No. I shut it off on one, but I have so many tabs open. I had to shut it off on the other tab. Very
There
good.
we are. Just
Good,
came up.
very late evening.
Yeah. It just came up. Let me share to the groups.
Yes, please. It came up for you already? Why doesn't it come up? Oh, there it is. Very good, very good.
7.
We'll give it a few seconds. Let's see if anybody joins us. It doesn't matter if they do or don't. Just as long as we get the word out there as much as we can.
Yeah. And we're just doing this, having fun, talking, saying hi, how you are.
Pretty much. I enjoyed what we just did, Long MacArthur, right? The Ford Chevrolet Ford exhibit. Where was it? In
Salina, Kansas. Right
Salina,
dead
Kansas.
square
no,
in
they're
the
in
middle.
Kansas, but the that little get together that they had. Where was that? That was in
That was in,
Pennsylvania.
yeah,
Carlisle. Yeah.
just
It,
south of
Car-
Harrisburg.
that was
Yeah, okay. That's why I remember that name.
Yeah.
right. It's right by. It's not far from Pooh. Right.
Yeah, I know where it's at.
She would have liked that. I may have told her a little too late.
Yeah.
She would have definitely.
She would
She'll
have
come on.
probably went to that.
She likes car. She probably would have.
Mhm.
Yeah, she does. She goes to car
Well,
shows.
she likes the ponies for sure.
Yes. Yeah. So Charles here moderates for Long MacArthur's Ford. What is he like? It's a dealership over there in
It is.
Kansas.
It's a dealership.
He's
Yeah.
it's his dealership. It's
No.
his own. No.
No, he's the internet manager. He also has his own channel called Ford Video Guy.
Yeah.
But
That's
they
what was
sort of
on his shirt. I
Yeah.
saw it on
Found
his.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. He was excellent. Him and his daughter, Sarah, they were just so sweet. And
Yeah, they were real good.
everybody in there was just so cool. And I don't know much about cars, but I do like the trucks, and I do like that Tonka truck.
Oh, that
Yeah.
Tonka truck was badass.
Yeah.
It was. What
My
did it have? A
bad.
quad in the back? Was
Yeah, it was a quad.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean,
That was
that
totally
was
cool.
anybody could get excited for that.
That was totally cool.
All right, let's get on with it. Let's talk about the inevitable Bidenomics. Joe, please.
Well, I wanted to talk. I wanted to say what about the that what do you call those things that they put out? The presidents put out. I lost my train of thought on that word.
Executive orders.
Executive order. His executive order today to stem the flow of the illegals coming across our border. Man, come on, people. That was just stupid as hell. Come on, really? 15.
Why?
He's not gonna, they're not gonna do anything at the border, okay, unless it tops 2,500 people a day crossing for 5 to 7 days consecutive. What kind of crap is that? They're still coming across. That is the most idiotic thing I've ever heard in my whole life.
They probably think that certain
certain
society will fall for this, as if, oh, he's taking action against this crisis that he let happen in the first place.
They created this. They've always created this.
Mayorkas, Dorcas, Garland, they all need to be just
It's like they've given in to the cartels. because
Right.
the cartels are the ones that are putting these people across the border.
That's
And I
exactly
again,
right.
I keep asking this one question, and everybody is shut up about this, and I think it needs to be asked, and everybody needs to pay attention and say, okay, where are the children? Where are all those children that they cried about? What did they do with them?
UN soldiers are barbarians. They're not,
Nobody
they
knows
don't
where they
have
are.
families.
Nobody said one word about it, but they still have to deal with them, right? Or are they? What do they did? I don't, I don't know.
Oh,
I keep asking the question and nobody's giving me the answer.
Kids in cages.
Yeah, kids in cages. That was Obama that did that.
Yep.
and then they
Obama
blame
put
Trump
kids in
for it.
cages.
Really?
Yeah. And then they
Really?
blame Trump for it. Come on, be real. Everything they blame us for, they're guilty. Everything.
It's true.
Everything.
I know. We all know.
I would never act that way. I would
That,
never do the things that they've done.
Right.
Never. I wouldn't hurt nobody. I ain't into hurting people.
that's the thing. That's the whole thing. It's
It's
when it comes down to
insane.
the foundation of it all, it's good versus evil. That's
That's
all it is.
right. Because
All
I
it is.
know I wouldn't hurt nobody. I know, and I know I'm on my side. I know
Charlie
it.
has
I'm
us
not.
muted
I'm
because
not
he's
into
like,
hurting
yep, yes, yep, yep.
Thanks. Appreciate that, man,
Go
Charles.
on, let's hear what he has to say about it.
Yeah, say
You had
something.
some,
What do you think?
you had some, let me see.
They're still going to come across the border. They're
Yes.
still going to be. Everybody is still going to pay for these people.
Yep. Yep.
You know, it's wrong. Why do we have to pay for those people? Why do we have to pay for them?
Right.
Ain't nobody paid for me for shit. Nobody.
Nobody
Man,
paid for me.
I started in the street. I lived under bushes and under cars. That's where I
Oh
slept.
dear.
Wow.
You know, come on, man.
Right. You
Why did they
came
get a leg
from,
up and I didn't get no leg up?
where
So
did
what
you,
about our kids? My grandkids? You know, I'm working my butt off so that they don't fall into that category that I did.
you're right. You're right. But that's the thing we were talking about last time, keeping up with the Joneses, just trying to keep up with the,
Mhm.
you can't, it's so hard to save and invest. The gold backing is going to help
Right.
us with that. It really will.
Right.
Where is that?
Well,
You
you
see,
must teach your kids to work, the value of things. You must teach your kids value.
right?
Yes. But a lot of things that you get now is just crap.
The nuclear family,
Yeah. Why
you
buy it?
know,
Why
they
buy
let the,
a product 15 times when you should only have to buy it once?
now Charlie, where did you put that information? Did you put it in Megafunk?
What did
Perhaps.
you? What were you looking for?
You had all that, oh
Oh,
no,
all the
that's
stuff
too
he had
funny.
sent us.
Yeah, yeah. Hold on. It must be in the. Where did you put it?
Was it in Magafunk that he put it?
There you go. Is that it?
There you go. Look.
You have it?
Yeah, look at that inflation. Look at that. You know, the housing
Very
is
good.
the housing is not 5.6. It's 7.12% now. It was 7.0. It went from 6.99 to 7.0, and now it's at 7.12 or something like that.
Fannie Mae.
Well, I can't remember what the date is on this,
Uh-huh.
but you're right. You're right. These are older um, stats, but
Ah, I see
they
the
were
economy.
using them.
Mhm. Yeah, they're hosing us, man.
Yeah.
These people
And
don't know how to spend money. That's why they
Fox.
keep raising the things because they think they know how to spend money and they don't.
Oh
They
my,
don't know how
look
to
at
spend money.
that.
They spend
I
too
mean, how
much.
can people not think? You sent us that short video.
Hmm.
And it basically said that Trump left us with a great economy
He
Right.
did.
and handed it to Biden.
Hmm.
And then
Right.
within like the first year, right, it started to collapse.
Well,
So
everybody should ask
the
that
inflation,
question. The question of why can't they balance the budget? Yet they're all millionaires now.
right? They know how to balance their own budgets.
Yeah.
They
What
know
the heck
how
is
to,
going
we've
on there?
said this before, insider trading. Everybody knows this stuff. So how is it continue? That's the
Yeah.
question.
Right?
It might have something to do with the Great Awakening, no?
Right.
Right.
There you go. Look,
Right.
Rewarded
long-term
long-term
investors and
investors under a variety of presidents.
Right.
Good dollar investment. Whoa.
Yep.
26 to 19. Oh, oh,
I know.
Hoover, Coolidge, Hoover,
Well,
Roosevelt.
the Hoover is because of the Great Depression.
Right.
right.
Yeah.
Hooverville.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
The
All right.
the modern. Remember, I told you about modern money theory,
Yes.
Yes.
modern monetary theory, and what they're saying is that these immigrants aren't costing you a dime. They're not costing the taxpayer a dime. They have the ability to raise the funds just by printing it, just by putting it in checking accounts,
Hmm.
just by giving them the diddles and dots in their checking account to be spent into the economy. And it doesn't have to be raised by taxes, and it doesn't have. That's what modern monetary theory is. I'm not saying it's right, but as far as they're concerned, is all these immigrants, we can give them all this money. We can put them up in these hotels. We can bus them all over the place. We can give them credits because it's it's not it's not coming out of the
Meanwhile,
taxpayer.
meanwhile, we have to work. We
Yeah,
work every fucking day, and they
yeah,
sit on their fucking asses in these places that are given to them, eat all this food that's given to them with
yeah.
all this money that's given to them, and
Right.
meanwhile, they don't give a motherfucking thing from to us, but they keep
Okay.
taking from us. This is the first year in my whole entire life. I'm 62 years old, and this is the first year I've actually had to pay for taxes. I've
Well,
never
you're
had to pay
making more
my tax.
money. You're making more money.
Doesn't matter. I've
That
never
is
had to
what
pay.
matters. They
I
have you in a
always
bracket.
I don't I let them take the most money away from me that they can.
So we have illegal aliens, because I will not call them immigrants. My mother was an immigrant. My
Your mother
grandma
was an immigrant.
was an
Yes.
immigrant. Okay.
Yes.
These are illegal aliens, and if you don't allow me to say that, you could go fuck yourself because that's really how I feel. All right.
No matter what anybody says, it's not
I
right.
got the paperwork to prove it. They're staying in these hotels, correct?
Yeah.
And how are they getting transported?
Who's
Well,
working?
if
Who's
it's a
working to transport them?
if well, yeah. I was going to finish what my point.
Yes, go on, please.
Yeah,
Go
if
ahead.
you,
Sorry.
I no, I totally understand how you feel, Joe. I'm right beside you on this. I'm just trying to give you their point of view,
Mhm.
how they look at it, how they think, and they've convinced, probably not too hard, that these politicians that they can do this without raising taxes, without burdening the taxpayer, because once these people are out there into the workforce and start taking up these jobs, because in their mind we have a labor shortage, they're going to be taxpayers, and it's going to come right back around. These, in their minds, I'm not saying I agree with it. I don't agree with it. I'm with you, Joe, and Carolyn. But from their perspective, from their point of view, they're thinking we're investing in these immigrants so that then they can be productive tax-paying
Oh,
citizens.
shit, that
Who
thing's
believes
And
that?
money.
Who believes that? I don't even
Well,
think
well,
they
the
do.
Democrats are
The
stupid enough to
Democrats
believe
do.
that.
I
No,
believe
I
you
don't
on
think
that.
so. They
I
do
would
not.
think
They
No,
know that they're cheap labor. They
I believe that, Charles.
absolutely listen. You go into
Hmm.
any city, and you will
Hmm.
see 50 to 100 of them standing on a street corner, and everybody in that city knows where to find these folks
Yeah,
because they know they'll tar the roof, they'll do the cement work, they'll do that paint job, they'll do it in 95-degree weather and still take $5 or half the pay,
yeah,
$5 an hour, some bullshit.
yep.
not all of
Democrats
them.
True.
know it's
You're right.
all a game.
Not all of them.
It's a game. That's why I'm saying, who owns the hotels?
The
Who
cabal,
owns the transportation for these UN soldiers? Because
Mhm.
obviously, it ain't us anymore. It's
they
the
are
cabal.
barbarians. They are not family. They're
You
not.
know?
In the beginning, all the little of media and photographs and fake gas bombs that you saw, yeah, yeah, it was an
Mm,
act, right?
yeah,
It's still an act. Okay.
might
The
be.
people, the people that are losing these rich hotels in New York, because they're all rich, must be the bad guys.
Mm.
Think about it. Ah, no, 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 no. There is a plan, people. A Q plan. Transportation. What did we say earlier, girls? I even said it. I said Washington, D.C., as we were saying that their corporation in it of itself, right?
Right.
Washington, D.C. And I even said it earlier. They own the train system. They
Yeah.
own the that is their
Yeah, I
baby.
believe you that. Yeah.
Oh, it's a
I
fact.
just
It's a
don't
fact.
believe all rich people are bad. Not all
It
of them.
has nothing to do with all the written. No, no. Trump is rich.
Yeah,
He's obviously not bad. You got
yeah,
plenty of entrepreneurs. Elon Musk.
yeah.
Without Elon Musk, a lot of stuff wouldn't have progressed. I don't know if you noticed
Correct.
that.
Right.
Okay. So we've got progression from a
Right.
technical advance and a philosophical MAGA, advantage with Trump. No, no, no. This is all play. They're getting these UN soldiers and they're putting them somewhere. Like 2 months ago, 2 or 3 months ago, I'm watching this pregnant girl in New York City take the train by herself to go get she was what is it called when they have to I can't lost my train
Hate
that were
that.
she was
Tip of the
pregnant
tongue.
and she was going in to get the baby out.
An ultrasound. Oh, C-section.
C-section, thank you. An
Yeah. Yeah.
ultrasound.
Phew.
Bloop, bloop. The heart's
I got
there.
there. It took me a bit, but I got
No,
there.
thank you, because I couldn't think of it. C-section, right? And she went there and then they couldn't take her in, so she went back home and she did it like the next day.
Yeah.
Walking on the streets in New York City, on the subways. So where are all these illegal aliens? We hear in a massive city of millions, you hear about two cops that get killed in Queens. Are you serious? Are you serious? It's
Oh
not,
man.
it's, and
I don't
who's there?
know.
On top of it all,
Somebody
the
needs to go
theater of it
see.
all, De Niro,
Hmm. They're here.
who was in
They're here.
Awakening, who was
Hmm.
in Awakening, and his birth date was 9/11/44. Just to mention that offside. I always think things are because that movie, I mean, they were young. It's definitely before 9/11.
Oh yeah, it
Yeah,
was.
has to
Oh yeah,
be. Yeah.
yeah,
It's
it
a
was.
great movie, but I still want to smack his ugly little mug face. I'm sorry. Anyhow, let's move on. Any more about this beautiful Bidenomics? It obviously puts us all in a great mood.
I know, right? It does. Such a good good thing to happen.
That I'm not saying what I say is true, but I really believe that there's more than meets the eye with these illegal aliens in our cities. Besides, I've said it a few times that they're not going to get checks. They're not going to be able to cash checks. Nobody's handing them out cash. They're getting cards. Every card is chipped and traced. You have to think a little outside the box, but I really believe I'm onto
Hello,
something with.
Sean.
Yeah, my phone keeps
John
turning
Hawkins
off.
says hello.
Hello, Sean.
I'm just saying. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
But you're right.
well.
That's what they're
Oh,
doing.
look,
They're
he's got
giving
the
them cards.
NASA. He's got the
Yeah.
net. You see his little.
Yeah, she'll. Yeah, they are. They're giving them cards.
So he's going to want to talk about the flat Earth.
Mm.
We'll get onto that. I mean, we'll get
Okay.
onto that. I don't know. Is there more about the Bidenomics that we want to point out here, or is it just like, can we all honestly say it was a
No,
failure?
couldn't believe it. Yeah, it was such a failure, man. That's so stupid.
Bidenomics.
I can't believe that I mean, and the whole time that they're talking, these people are walking across. They're not being stopped.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
it's
Yeah.
122 years in the making.
Yeah.
What's
Right?
culminating and it happening here today is the result of 122 years of the Federal Reserve being
I
the
was wondering where
nation's
you got that
lender,
number from.
and we still had a gold standard,
Oh, excuse me.
but they became the private banker of the United States. They were the lenders, and it took until, well, like in 1933, I think, is when uh, Roosevelt made owning gold illegal. You had to turn your gold in. Now that is disturbing, and like
I
Goodwill
wonder
soldiers, we did.
how long did that last? I do remember that. How long did that last? Do you know?
I'm not sure. My memory fails me, but I do know that there was a time that you could not own gold; that you had to turn it in. Um, well, because
Yes.
from what I understand, we were bankrupted. We were bankrupted at that point.
Well,
Yeah, no, he's right. And I remember that. And that's when they decided, well, fuck it. Let's just start printing paper because it doesn't matter.
Well, yes, and the Bretton Woods Accord after World War II pegged the U.S. dollar to $35 an ounce in agreement, but only to other countries in
right.
trade. The
Trading.
citizens couldn't take their dollars in $35 and get an ounce of gold. They wouldn't exchange that way.
Right.
It was only country to country. And then we had the explosion of the 60s, in which we were involved in the brush wars of Southeast Asia. We had finished up in Korea, and then we turned around and we had this giant welfare state. And in order to pay for that, we just
What a
started
plan.
started printing more money, and the other countries were beginning to realize that something isn't adding up here. You
Exactly.
don't you don't have that much gold in Fort Knox and Wall Street to cover the amount of monies that are out there in circulation. So
They were
Nick,
stealing trillions from Wall Street. Trillions.
trillions. So Nixon did two things. He took us off the gold standard.
Yes.
That was in August 16th, I think, of 1971. And he instructed Kissinger to go and to OPEC and all the oil producing countries. And that was the creation of the petrodollar. And it was the petrodollar that propped up our monetary system for the next, 20, 30 years?
Shit.
Yeah.
That
Anybody
Kissinger.
and anybody who wanted to buy oil from You had to use US dollars. So our money was not just here in the country, it was all over the world.
That's what ruined our dollar.
Exactly.
That ruined the money. Always does.
No, we know Nixon was good.
Nixon was
And
good. I don't care. I think Nixon was good.
Kissinger was the bad one.
Hmm.
oh, yeah.
Kissinger was definitely made a deal with the devil.
Yeah.
Kissinger was bad.
And everybody else. There's so many around them. They've been
Mhm.
around them since, how long now? I mean, I was wondering why you said 122 years is when the first federal bank opened up.
Yeah, 19, what was it, 1913, I think.
Yes. That's see how it works before the war, and then they take away the gold before the Second World War.
Yep.
See how that works,
Yep.
people? Do you understand what he's saying here? I'm trying to put it in simple terms, but although I understood what you said, so that was pretty simple terms.
And then in the early 80s, something else happened. The United States Treasury did not have to balance, and we were literally able to write checks whatever we needed. In other words, if Congress said we need monies for a new roads project or education or whatever,
You don't want to
they
get
just
freaky, Isaiah?
they just passed the bill and wrote the check. And the Federal Reserve and the Treasury Department was okay with it. It was
Just complied, yeah.
it was completely.
I wonder why. I mean,
Well, when you have that kind of money that is able to be created out of nothing just because you say so,
take notes.
exactly. And
I
of
know.
course, that was that. I don't know if you know of John Maynard Keynes. He created the Keynesian theory of monetary back in the 30s.
Right.
Well, and we talked about modern monetary theory. That is the stepchild or the hybrid of
His
what
baby.
was Keynesian theory. And
Kingsley?
Keynesian, Keyn. I don't know. Maybe I could share it with you.
Keynesian.
Keynesian. Yeah,
Keynesian.
yeah,
That's a
Keynesian.
new one. Go on, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Gosh, I had it. I don't know. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, so when we're talking about why does he think he can get away with Bidenomics? Why they think they can get away with just it? It doesn't matter how many immigrants we have in this country. We're going to feed them. We're going to shelter them, and we'll just write the check. The government will sign off on the whole thing and create the money. Well, it's because they've adopted this practice. This what Bidenomics is. This practice of modern money theory, modern monetary theory, in which there is no limitation. You don't have to stop. You don't have to be constrained by some kind of fiscal responsibility.
You
And that's why many administrations or many Congress is supposed to balance the budget. They're supposed to stay within their means. They're supposed to propose a budget to the president. Under any Democratic-led Congress, they never put a budget out. The only ones who put out budgets have been like Newt Gingrich back in the 90s with the Contract of America and a few of the Republican administrations.
right.
But then they turn around and they scream bloody blue murder, and they say that they win all these elections because a lot of the municipalities, I mean, they've completely become dependent on a federal government feeding them with dollars. Municipalities, states, even the states are dependent. And so of course they're going to be turning in these Democrat uh, representatives.
Well, yeah, they have to because they're all rich and we're not. I mean, period.
Right.
Have you heard of the QFS, the
Quantum
quantum
financial, yeah, I have.
system? Okay.
Yes, it's an easement. It's it's based on that modern monetary theory.
Mhm.
Like I said, I was up all night last night reading about this. It's crazy because I didn't know that. I didn't know this. I knew about Keynesian monetary, and I knew about people like Milton Friedman and the what they call the Austrian Austrian monetary. Anyway,
In
and
Austria.
well, well, they actually are from the United States, but they call
Right.
themselves that
All right.
because Austria was the stepchild of Germany.
Yeah, so why not, right?
Yeah,
Stepchild of the Nazis. Sorry, that's wrong. But okay. So
I'm
you
not
know the Q.
explaining it very well.
No, 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 no. I just hate this stuff. I hate it. I hate it. Inflation principle. I hate all this crap. I did so bad in economics. I barely passed. And I kept going because I was into politics. I kept trying to say I have to understand economics. But you know what? I was wrong. I'm right now. Understanding the heart and philosophy of a political awareness is more important. Networking and everybody understanding one another and no hate. That's more important. Now, so you know the QFS.
Yeah, yep,
Do you know that Trump took over the Federal Reserve?
I believe that.
Okay, yeah. It was like maybe a
Yeah.
year
Yeah,
into
you
his
did.
presidency, a year and a half.
Well, right, the Treasury, the instructed the Treasury Department to take over the Federal Reserve, and it was no
Right.
longer a private bank.
Boom.
I know about that.
And at the same time, John Voight took over the Kennedy Center.
Oh, really?
Now, yeah, and I think there was a reason for it. God, he may have turned in his own daughter, to be honest. If I'm, oh, I might get shut down for that one, but that's as far
Angelina?
as I'll say about that. But so he must have been trustworthy, and yeah, because that I believe is where all a major laboratory is connected underground.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a
Hmm.
museum and whatever else, but yeah, I don't. I put it together somewhere. I read so much stuff and it clicks sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
That's what it's all
Little
about,
jungles.
putting the puzzle pieces together. That's why we need more and more people to come forward with what they know.
More input.
Right. Input. What are we, Johnny Five?
Yeah, Johnny Five.
Input.
More input.
I am alive. Oh no, artificial intelligence will be the next.
Mhm.
That was a cute movie. I like that movie.
So did I.
Yeah.
And what was his name? What was his name? The Johnny. Not
Five.
Johnny Five. The
Five.
no, not short circuit, not the
Not the
robot.
robot. Oh,
God, wasn't it like the same name as the printing press or something? I
huh,
can't.
huh.
I know that the Indian the fellow playing the Indian,
He was great too.
he was great, but he's not Indian. That
No.
that was Andrew that was his name.
I'm gonna look it up. You can't get away with that now. Steve Guttenberg. Guttenberg.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yep.
Mhm.
The dude.
Fisher Stevens.
The
What was that?
science.
What was that called? The movie
Short Circuit.
Short
Mhm.
Circuit.
Fisher Stevens and Steve
Thank you.
Guttenberg.
Yeah.
I was like
Fisher
the
Stevens.
printing press.
Yeah.
I think Guttenberg is, yes, it is a town in New Jersey.
Well, that's kind of like who's that? Rob Schneider. He does a lot of like Hawaiian. He was in 51st States. He played a Hawaiian.
Really?
You know, and all these ethnic characters, and yeah,
Couldn't get away with that nowadays. You
I
can't
think
do that now.
I think
I used to love, there was the ambiguously gay duel on Saturday Night Live.
oh yeah, yeah,
You remember that?
I do actually, yeah,
And I'm like 14 years old watching this stuff, and I'm thinking it's hilarious. If I can laugh, they can create it and make a bunch of people laugh, and we're all laughing together.
yeah.
Why is it so wrong now? What makes that togetherness about humor, making fun of whatever the hell we all are, laugh at it? I don't understand people. It's so, ugh. It's all about them, them, them. Me, I. All right. Let's see. Gutenberg. Johannes Gutenberg, German inventor and craftsman who invented movable type printing press.
Yeah, 500 or 600 years ago, right?
Yes. Um, I don't know where I get my memory from.
It, it,
Sometimes it works right and sometimes it does. It's one T as compared to two T's, though.
and
Um,
actually, the last 1,000 years, that was in a lot of people's minds, that was the single greatest invention.
1440.
Was the movable was the invention of the movable type. It
I'd imagine.
brought books closer to the masses. They could afford to read for themselves.
Right.
Not that everyone.
Unfortunately, a lot of the masses didn't know how to read.
Well, yeah, yeah.
The plebes, the serfs, they had no clue. I'm
Are you saying
sorry.
it
I watch
wasn't
a lot
like
of
this?
Monty Python too, so it's like I always think of like the I'm sure you know the Holy Grail.
Oh, I went and saw that 4 times in theater.
Did
I
you
love that so much.
really?
That was one of my favorite movies. I
Oh,
said, "Come on, you got to see this one." Yeah, bring out your dead.
bring out your Piesu Domine.
Oh yeah. Oh, don't
My
get me started.
brother got to see
I could quote it.
Spam-A-Lot on Broadway. Spam-A-Lot. He was like first row on Spam-A-Lot. He was like, I was looking under their knight armor or whatever.
My son played in Spamalot in our local theater.
Oh no, get
Oh yeah,
real.
yeah. Oh, he's very talented. Yeah, he's a singer, musician.
Really?
Oh yeah, yeah. My youngest.
Yeah, I was gonna say you have two sons and one daughter. Is that
No, I
it?
have
Or
2 daughters, one son.
and one son. So the
Yeah,
youngest is the son.
yeah, yeah. My oldest is a year younger than you.
Aw. Oh, so she will be 47 when we have Donald Trump as the 47th president.
Yes.
Ah,
Yeah.
Because I missed it.
She's born in
I kept
77.
thinking, yay, but
She's born in 77.
right.
Yeah.
I'm 76. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Shall we move on to something crazy? Like the flat earth theory? Joe's gonna love this. When we were talking about it earlier, I started to go play spades because that's my mind rest. I go and play my games of spades or whatever.
Sure.
So Joe's being very quiet on the other end. And I click over to see him, and he's like this. And I'm like, Joe, what's up? What are you thinking of, buddy? And he's like, I'm thinking about that conversation you were having with Charlie earlier about the flat earth and sciences, because it is damn well convincing in a lot of ways.
well, the only thing about it is that you guys keep talking about it and you keep saying this and keep saying that. You have to understand one thing about me. I've done quite extensive astronomy studies. Okay, I've A lot. Done a lot. A
My
whole lot.
school had an
So
observatory.
what I'm saying, yes.
I was in it. Yes,
Yes. I've
I've done it
been in
too,
quite a
Joe.
few of them. I've been in quite a few of them.
That me
So
too. That
for
it's not.
me,
You're not
I
alone. And Charles too.
you keep talking about it has this, it has that, it has this, but you ain't giving me nothing else.
What do
So
you mean? What do you mean, Joe?
just say
He
that
wants
it's
visible
there.
proof. You
Well,
believe in
here's the
God.
thing. If you
God,
were,
you've never
if
seen
you
him.
really, if you really wanted to know for yourself for sure, all you have to do is buy a P90 camera and go out to the ocean and or a big lake, or it has to be a really big lake, but an ocean especially, and film the boats that supposedly go behind the curve. And when you zoom in on them, you see the whole boat. And they're not leaning over, they're not following a curvature. They are right there. So you can afford to do that. You can afford to buy your own camera. You can afford
Well,
to
how far would you have to be able to see before you seeing the curvature of the Earth?
the curvature falls off 8 inches per square, 8 inches per mile squared.
Okay, 8 inches
Yeah.
per mile
So in other words, you're looking out
squared.
over a mile, it
Mm.
drops down 8 inches. Now that isn't enough to convince you, but in 2 miles, it's 16 inches. And in 3 miles, it is 16, 32 inches. And so every mile it goes out, it's squared. And it has to do that because it's only 24,000 miles in circumference. So if it's not dropping off, it would never come back around. So the math is right. It's just in practicality, when you're out there looking, you can't, you can see
You're
much
gonna you're gonna
further.
tell me they didn't think we'd have this kind of technology now when they had it then, that
Bingo,
we wouldn't figure out.
bingo. We're so brainwashed that we don't even question it. We grow up, there's a globe in the classroom. Why would you? We're watching Star Trek. We're seeing the spinning ball, and they're orbiting around it. All our great, fantastic white coat scientists tell us that this is the way it is. And why would you buy a P90 camera if you didn't have to? It wasn't that long ago. We just never had the means or the optics to be able to do it. But our technology has outgrown their narrative.
You
And
have any
that's something
questions, Joe?
and that's something you could do, Joe. That's something you could personally go out and do and see for yourself.
Wrong.
Huh?
I don't live that close to the ocean. But I do live close to the the very large array.
Okay.
And the
What's
very large array looks out into space. They're down in Bidenomics. I've been there. I've been in it. I've seen that.
yeah?
So I've seen through telescopes, through other things, and I've seen other planets that are round. So if we're flat and all the other planets are round, or are they flat too?
Well, we're around.
But how do you see how do you see that?
Remember how I showed you how
Yeah,
art
but
can
then
be.
that would mean that you would fall off if you're looking at them from the side. It would fall to one
We
side
might not
because
be
there's
from
no
the side.
gravity.
Everything else might be from its side.
Hmm.
Um,
I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of conflicting things for me that I have to see more. Um, I don't know. I would just have to see more.
We're around, Joe. There's your round.
Mm.
There's your round.
Okay, so where's you show one pole, where's the other pole?
There's only the North Pole. There is no South
Oh,
Pole.
there's no South Pole.
There's no South Pole. You can't even go there. The government won't even let you go there. It's completely quarantined.
There's a lot of places like that, and that's always bothered me.
And there's a treaty that's been in
Or,
effect since the late 50s, which has never been breached. And tell me any treaty that's lasted that long.
Oh, I know. We just saw every head of every country take a trip down to the South Pole and have some kind of a meeting down there for some reason that was never discussed with anybody. They just did it. They all flew down there in their jets.
Right.
Seems kind of odd to me.
this was the
Yeah.
one that always got me. And God help me, I probably won't pronounce his name right, but Eratosthenes? Eratosthenes. Eratosthenes. I don't know, that's
Yeah,
Italian. I don't know how,
I'd
it
chop
sounds
it
like
up
Greek to me. But he's the one that stuck a piece of wood in the earth in the desert and then had the guy walk and stick and what's this?
That's a flight path. That's an actual flight path to go from Australia to Argentina. Now, if we lived on a globe, you would just go around the bottom half of the globe, right? You just go right across the South Pacific, right to Argentina. It's the fastest way. Why would they want to waste a lot of fuel traveling north into the northern hemisphere to then travel down south? But if you look at it on a flat Earth, it's a straight line. They've had many emergency flights from Asia to America or whatever, and they've had to divert to Alaska, even though they're much further down south. Why didn't they just go straight across? Why did they go up around Alaska?
I wish Bill Black was here because he'd know the answer.
No, you would.
You know the answer to what? That
Yes.
they don't do that?
He flies.
Yeah, but he had said something about it a while back, and I don't remember exactly.
He
But
told you why. He told you why they fly to the north.
Right. Yes. I can't remember because yes, I've mentioned this before. I've seen it. I've seen similar things that they take different areas. And I mean, I don't remember why, but he did say something about it.
Did you ever ask him why? Do you have to dip your nose down at the speed you're traveling in order to keep with the curvature of the Earth? You're up there flying, right? And you reach an altitude, and you're flying straight. Don't you have to keep dipping your nose down to keep up with the curvature?
No, because planes have to go up and down over mountains all the time and stuff, right? So I don't know. I really don't know the answer to that. And they don't go down unless they're landing like that. They'll go down like this most of the time, right? It's like a slow descent.
No. I mean to keep in check with the curvature of the Earth. They're flying 600, 700, 800 miles per hour, whatever they're flying. They have to keep dipping their nose down to keep to go with the curvature of the Earth. We're talking about a globe, right? And remember, I told you every mile, 8 inches.
8 inches every mile.
Eight inches per mile squared.
Well, what if it just shows that it's, the instruments show that you're closer to the Earth at this point, or you're farther away from the Earth at this point because of other things like jet streams and weather, and I don't know. I understand what you're saying, but
I guarantee you, he goes up to an altitude of 30,000 feet and he flies flat, he flies straight. He doesn't dip.
But
You
that
know,
would mean every pilot in the world is a dumbass. Do you know what I'm saying? That would
no,
mean
no.
every pilot that needs to have some sort of engineering understanding so they can weigh luggage just so, and people and have all these calculations don't know that they're flying straight the whole path on a rounded Earth. That can't be right. That just can't be right. There's something wrong with that thinking too, in my I understand where you're coming from, but that's putting down a shitload of pilots, especially in the military. I mean, like I said, Bill Black was a Vietnam vet and he's still flying today. He's 70 something years old. He's still flying.
I wonder what they would have to say. I mean,
He's an incredibly intelligent man too, and he's way up
Hmm.
here with our conspiracy. So I just couldn't understand him not seeing that very simple scientific
I mean,
point.
it's a good talking uh,
It is a very,
conspiracy.
but I think with jet streams and clouds and mountains and everything else, trees, you have to go up and down in general. Would you even notice? Yeah, yeah, I would say they would have.
That's looking. The bottom picture is looking across um, Lake Michigan. Okay, so you're on the Michigan side of down the southern part of Lake Michigan, and
Mhm.
it's something like 50 or something miles across. And what you're looking at is Chicago. Now, in order to be able have the curvature, those buildings should not even be in view. They should be behind the curve.
But they also say at the
I
same
wonder.
time,
Okay.
so say I was in the Empire State Building and I'm watching the sunset
Yep.
and I watch it from a certain level, say level 10, I'm looking out the window. Then
Yep.
I run up to level 20 and 30 and 40, and I'm still catching it set,
Yep.
which would mean the earth is round.
Uh, not from
Yeah.
the not from your perspective. You're
Huh.
just you're just watching it go down into your
But you keep catching the top of it as you're going up.
yep. If we didn't have an atmosphere and we had our camera, we'd be able to watch that sun off in the distance for the whole way. But we have
No.
an atmosphere, and the atmosphere keeps us from being able to see it.
Hmm.
Well, you're the one who said you wanted to discuss it.
Hmm.
No, no, no. I'm looking something up. Oh, please. I like all this stuff.
Okay.
Hmm.
These
No,
are
he's talk.
professionals. These are professionals who have confirmed that the Earth is flat, and some of them are your friend who's a pilot.
There are things that they do. Okay. They do make telescopes with um concave and convex, right? Which
Yeah, they're
puts
called
roundness to everything.
right. They're
Interesting.
called fisheye.
Right.
They're called
Same with
fisheye.
the airplane.
Excuse me, real quick.
We lose your rags.
He had to leave for a second.
Okay.
Now, I thought so. Okay. So when we think of vertical and horizontal meaning horizon, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
horizon would be that flat line across the water, the horizon, right?
Right. Right.
The circular boundary of the part of the Earth's surface visible from a particular point. This is
Right.
ancient Greek.
Right.
Ancient Greek.
right?
Ignoring irregularities and obstructions. In astronomy, a great circle of celestial sphere. This is horizon now. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this is interesting. The plane of which passes through the center of the Earth and it's parallel to the apparent horizon of the place, true horizon.
Yeah.
I always like looking up word origins because we learn a lot from them. Not to say that they're all true, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I like to catch them anyhow. A layer of soil or rock or strata with a particular characteristics. A little archaeology, a level of excavated site representing a particular period. Arrangement of two rows of features of horizon. But that's very strange. The circular boundary of the part of the Earth's surface.
Yeah.
I mean, late to Middle English is this word from the Greek horizon oculus, limiting circle, a limited circle. It's tough. A
Interesting
limited
fact.
circle.
Interesting fact about this here. Mount McKinley, or Denali, as they like to call it today, is the tallest mountain in the world. It's the tallest mountain in the world.
In the United States, in the North
No,
America.
in the world. It's tall. It's the tallest mountain. From the base of the mountain to the top is
I always thought it
higher.
was Mount Fuji.
Yeah.
Mount McKinley?
Yeah, Mount McKinley. It's higher than Mount Everest. Now, Mount Everest is higher in the atmosphere. Altitude wise, it is. But if you just go by the base of the mountain, because it kind of sticks out there all by itself, if you go out to the base of the mountain to the top of it, it is the tallest mountain in the world. Not including, of course, like Maui, which is, I mean, you can't, we're not including going beneath the sea, because that actually is the tallest mountain. But okay. So here you are 140 miles away on a hilltop. And because it's in Alaska, it's very cold up there. So you're able to see further. The colder the air, the further you can see, because
The view, yes, the
the
visibility,
air
yeah.
density, right, the air
Mhm.
density is less. Okay. So it should be 4.5 miles. The whole of Mount McKinley should be 4.5 miles behind the curvature of the Earth, but it's not.
All right, let me ask you something though.
And you
Have you
can see
been
the
there?
whole mountain.
Have you ever been on top of Mount McKinley?
Myself? No, of course not.
Right. So this could be fake.
It could be fake.
That's
Yep.
that's just a point I'm trying to make. I'm not
Yep.
arguing about it. I'm
No,
just saying
no, you're right. But
it could be a psyop either way.
but I have been on top of a mountain here in, driving home to Maine, and I'm looking out. I crossed over a hill, and I'm up quite high, probably about 3,000 feet above sea level, which to Joe that's nothing, but to an eastern person that's something. And I'm looking out across, and I don't know. Have you ever seen clouds that are so thick that the bottom of them are dark
Yes.
and they're flat?
Yes.
That I don't know. They're getting ready to rain or something. I don't know.
Yes.
So I'm driving and I'm looking across. It's an incredibly clear day, and I'm looking across, and as far as I can see, these flat clouds are level and even, and in like you could probably draw a line right through a laser right through the bottom of them, and they wouldn't. In other words, they don't tilt down. They don't follow the curvature of the Earth. They're straight and they're flat, right out as far as I could see. It was quite a phenomenon. If I had a camera, I wish I could have gotten it. But I'm looking at them going, huh, Because I know what I'm looking at out there, and I know that I'm looking at probably at least 50, 60 miles away. And yet those clouds were flat.
Well, do you know of that conspiracy?
What about that? What's the
Cloud
conspiracy?
ships. They're called cloud. I used to call them islands, floating
Oh,
islands, as a
yeah,
joke.
yeah.
I've felt them. I know that they've been there. I've seen some really crazy shit myself too, but I've definitely felt them. And it's always under a rain cover. And then if you look it up on Rumble or any kind of conspiracy, you'll see cloud ships exist. In fact, it's what happened during April 8th or our last eclipse. That wasn't an eclipse. That was not an eclipse. That
Okay.
was the ships.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, unless you believe the aurora borealis is supposed to be all over the place a few days afterwards. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. So this is interesting what Mr. Tummy says. YouTube measuring Earth's curvature with basic gear, no flat Earth.
Okay.
I'm not sure what you mean, actually. Measuring Earth's curvature with basic gear, right? No flat Earth. So how? I mean, I was trying to say that Stephanus or whatever his name was, he I forgot the whole story. I was going to look it up, but he put a stick in the sand,
Yeah.
and then he had somebody walk a certain amount, maybe to the next city or something on
Yeah.
another dune, and put the stick in the sand, and they were able to measure the circumference of the Earth that way. But
Yeah.
does that mean that the circumference of the Earth isn't just a flat? Okay, like
Well,
let me
well, okay. That was the shadow of the sun, right? And
right.
there is a difference. Okay, from the distance on the ground with the shadow of the sun. But if the sun was 93 million miles away, like they tell us it is, why would there be any difference in that little distance we walk across the earth? Why would there be a difference in the shadow? There wouldn't.
Let me
And
think about that.
well, because the sun. But if the sun is only 3,000 miles up, then yeah. Have you ever looked across and you saw the sun shining through the clouds and they're all like at angles? In other words, the rays of the sun comes through the clouds all in an angle.
Hmm.
Now, if it's 93 million miles away, how is it that there's all at angles? Wouldn't it just be all straight down? It's all at angles because it's close. The sun is close.
There are truths to this. I gotta think about it,
Yeah.
ponder it. There's a there's a lot of I have to draw it. When I draw something, I could see it better.
Yeah.
I can understand it better. Because when I'm drawing a shadow of an object, it's a similar concept. The sun is always coming at an angle, isn't it? Isn't it always at an angle? And of course, it's round, it has to be.
Right.
Right. Yeah, because it's round, it would have to make.
Right.
But you're saying if it was further away, we wouldn't see it that way. It would be straight down.
Pretty much. Yeah. Because it's so far away.
But even when it's right on top of us, it's still at an angle,
Right.
which means, but that only means that the sun is curved, doesn't it?
Well, it said,
This was actual experiment that took place. I don't know in England along a canal. Guy in a boat goes out 6 miles He has a flag, and the guy with the telescope was able to follow him all the way. It happens to be a straight area of a canal. The water is level and flat. In fact, I used to level houses, manufactured houses, using a water level. So I know that water is always seeks its level. And yet in 6 miles, that's how much the curvature should go down. And you shouldn't be able to see the flag. But he watched the flag go right away until the atmosphere was so dense he couldn't see any further, even with a telescope. But it never dipped. It
Very
never
interesting.
it never wavered.
There are very interesting theories. Like I said, that one guy, he was a pilot engineer. He created his own ship. He went up. The first launch was successful. He came down. He didn't go high enough, but it was a test run.
Yeah,
Then he created a next one, and he partnered with the Science Channel.
yeah,
Goes up the second time to prove that there's a flat Earth and explodes.
yeah,
And I mean, I have to, as a Brooklynite, I have to be suspicious.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
And that's great. I'm glad you are.
yeah, no, I'm tossed.
I'm glad you are.
I've seen both sides of the argument, and they're both compelling. Um, I don't know. Joe,
Do you remember this from our friend Elon?
Hmm.
You remember this?
if you believe this, you have been successfully indoctrinated. No, I've never seen this.
No, but you remember he supposedly launched a car into space,
Did
and
he?
then yeah, and then took
That's another
videos
Star
of it,
Trek episode.
and they took videos of it, and during the conference, he said to it says it's so fake, it looks real.
Uh,
You know,
that looked very fake to me. Just
well, yeah, but that was officially from his thing.
what about the guy that jumped from how many miles up?
Oh yeah, way up there in
Oh yeah,
space.
yeah. Baumgarten
Hmm.
it was the Red Bull thing. When he was in the capsule, they looked out and they had the picture, and it wasn't a fisheye lens, and you could see it was flat. But when he stepped out, they put a fisheye lens on it, and it was curved
That's
because
right.
they did it on purpose. This is kind of a fun fact.
In 1952, Werner von Braun wrote a book called Project Mars, which imagined that human colonists on Mars could be led by a
Felix
person called Elon.
Kronberg.
Now, no. Oh. Uh,
Uh,
well, yeah, no, we have to talk about time travel eventually, but not right now. But not the real Elon. The real Elon is dead. His name was El Elon. El Elon, not
Elon.
Elon. Elon is not a South African name.
Yeah. This was his quote. You can tell it's real because it looks so fake. We have a better way of CGI if it was fake.
Yeah. No, I know the CGIs and they are very
Um,
stunningly real. I mean, they just bounce all over the place in the middle of the street. You'll just be seeing these CGIs and people don't even realize it.
Earth
They
science. That's where comes from. I got a picture for you.
hold on, I want to
And,
see the stage light. What's the film studio?
Yeah, this is the official photo taken by Elon, and they dissected it. They enhanced it and everything, and they found out that Look at the. It's kind of like the moon landing. We don't believe the moon landing either. We got.
February 6th, what year? Do we know? It's important almost.
Oh, I think it was what 4 or 5 years ago
Okay.
when he
Because
launched.
Elon is different now. He's not the same Elon.
You're looking for something, Joe?
Yeah, I was. I sent a picture to you guys of
Why don't
what
you
I
just
found.
share it?
Oh, because I was found it on my phone.
Oh,
So I wanted you guys to see that. Um, that's a picture I found of a boat in the water looking from the land. Because
Okay.
I don't see, because I get confused with this stuff too. But they say no, you cannot see the curvature of the Earth, not even from 3,500 feet.
Okay.
So I don't know. I mean, who the hell
I know.
knows?
I kind of believe that as far as perception goes, there is no way you could notice not any good eyes would notice the curvature of the earth.
Mine would.
It just doesn't make sense to me.
Okay.
I know I wouldn't.
In that way, it wouldn't make sense to me. Um, there's just too much in the way.
Mhm.
And
I don't know.
it
Don't
doesn't
know.
the
But some of
mountain
the stuff that they got, that's some of their theories, just because of the indoctrinated lies that they've told us. I mean, what is true and what's not, I don't know anymore.
that's the problem.
Because I used to, I was the smart kid in school. I was the one that always paid attention. I always
Were
remembered.
you the
I
geek?
still remember
Were
what
you the
what I
little
learned.
geek?
And see, there you
That's
go. So I don't know. I don't know. You know, I mean, I know we've been lied to all of our lives, so I know there's
yes.
that. I'm not
See,
saying that
yeah.
this picture is true or not. I don't know. I just don't know.
Hey guys, I need to excuse myself for a minute, okay? I'll
Okay.
tell
Go
you what.
on, yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
We can actually take an intermission. Let
Mm-hmm.
me give an intermission.
Yeah, okay.
Let me see if I could do this. You just mute yourselves.
Okay.
Intermission. Let's begin. We're on a mission. Look out, sin. Oh, snap, that actually works. I would have to share everything. Yeah, I'm gonna go on mute and I'm gonna go get myself more coffee. Joe, if you gotta do something, do it now. Give ourselves like a few
Doing
minutes.
it.
Okay. I said K.
Okay.
How to kill all mosquitoes in the area in just minutes. This simple but brilliant trick you can do tonight to eliminate all mosquitoes. Disaster. This survival food surpasses gold in value.
I'm back. We're just waiting for Carol to go.
Okay.
Whoa!
Sorry, I don't understand.
That was good. I don't know how she put us on the, wait, but I don't know how they do that.
How did you what?
Intermission? Yeah, that's what she did. She put us on an intermission.
Oh, she put us on in. Okay.
Yeah. I really like that Ford show.
Yeah. They're great people.
Yeah, it was really good. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
I'm glad you were there, Joe. You really contributed a lot to it.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, I sell Lincolns and Volvos, but I know all vehicles. I know Fords.
They
You know,
lost
I know, I know different aspects of vehicles that people know. And I really know the older vehicles.
uh
I was, I mean, a lot of my friends. I mean, I worked at O'Reilly here in Albuquerque,
Yep.
down in what we call the Valley, right?
Yep.
It's where my wife was from that area too. And in that area, it's real old, and there's a lot of people that have old cars.
Wow.
And
I learned a lot today.
it was good. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
I had no idea that Fords could have like so much. Those
Yeah.
trucks, I mean, I love the colors.
Mm-hmm.
Those
Do you
blues
wonder
I've
why?
seen, the plum reds. Oh, they hit me. And
Yeah.
then there's certain designs like on the bumpers and
Mm-hmm.
the hitch light. I mean,
Yeah.
who thinks of stuff like that? Like, and then when you guys were asking about other questions, I really was trying to understand. I have no clue about cars, but I
It's
have a
okay.
better understanding now, and I
Yes, you
appreciate it.
do.
Yeah, no, I really did. Those people
Mhm.
were class acts. That's Tim and Sarah. They were excellent, excellent
Yes, they
hosts.
were. All right.
Yeah. And we'll be on again. I'll definitely stop by. Although
Yeah, I will
I
too.
think I'll change from the liberally challenged when I go there. I felt so bad.
All right, let's go
You
back
know, I was just
into this dive. All right. You ready?
Yes.
Okay.
not like we stopped recording. We're still recording. We're
Oh,
still live. We
oh,
just took a quick break to get coffee and, pit stops and
oh.
whatever. That's
So
why I told
everybody can
you
see us now
mute.
still?
What?
Everybody can still see us now still?
Yes, it
Oh,
hasn't
okay.
stopped.
Oh, all right.
I told you to close your, mute and close
Oh,
your.
gotcha.
It's not like
Oh,
you
okay.
took us to the bathroom, so it's.
Remember are you seeing this
Yeah, I see you.
land of Mars?
No.
You see the
We
land of
see
Mars?
you. No, we see you right now.
Okay.
You're not sharing.
Okay. I'm not sharing. Okay.
No.
All right.
Hit the share button.
Give him
Oh,
a
here I am.
second, Joe. Jeez. Give him a second.
Remember you talked.
There it is.
Okay.
Oh.
Remember you're telling me about we were talking about Venus earlier. Well,
Mhm.
Yes.
I couldn't find that, but I did find this, and I'm not the only. I didn't make this up. There are actual folks out there who think beyond the ice wall of Antarctica, there are other lands, and those lands, the wandering star that we call Mars and Venus and so forth, that's their sun over these other lands. Because remember, they're not millions of miles away. They are like
How could they
3,000.
possibly not feel the sun? If all of this must be in our firmament, right?
Either in or above below the firmament. I don't
I
know where
mean,
the sun is, but it's up there near the firmament.
I don't understand how they wouldn't get any. I mean, hmm. I mean, even if it's closer, if it was closer, we'd be burning to death. I mean,
That sun is pretty hot.
I mean, it even shoots, but who knows what's fake? That is the problem. Who knows what's fake?
No,
Okay.
definitely gives you something to think about.
No, it is. It's all very interesting. I love any kind of conspiracy.
But see, we're here in the known land, right? The what we call Earth.
I've seen this one before, yes.
Yeah, and then they're out beyond the ring. So, like one would be Venus, one would be Mars. Out even further would be like Saturn and Jupiter. And I'm not saying this is the way it is. I'm just saying
Yeah,
this
well,
is
it's very interesting. It just,
possibility. I mean, Admiral Byrd. Do you know who Admiral Byrd
yes,
was?
I do. Yes,
Okay.
I loved that whole, yeah. And he knew what was going on and he died. He died
Yeah,
before they let him go on the next expedition.
that's
I
right.
know they gave him a ticket day parade and everything.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
then all of a sudden, when he wanted to go, they wouldn't let him go back. See, but I also believe the Antarctica has mercury under it,
Okay.
and it's very valuable. Mercury is like it's going to, when Trump says liquid gold, there's a couple of things I think he's referring to, and it's not necessarily gold.
Okay.
But that's another story for another time. Yeah. So okay, so
Well,
flat
wait.
earthers believe this is where
Mm.
I cut. This is where it bothers me the most.
Okay.
The flat earthers believe there's just the earth.
No. No, I just showed you pictures of other Earths.
On the earth.
Well, on the plane, yeah. That bothers you, doesn't it?
That makes me claustrophobic to no end.
Oh, you see, I have the opposite effect. See, as a spiritual being, and that's who I am. I take great comfort. This world was created for us. It's exactly what the Bible said. It's God's creation, and it was created just for us. I take comfort in it. This is our home. You don't have a problem sitting in your house, do you? Do you feel claustrophobic in your house?
No,
I don't. I don't.
I
So
do not.
what difference does it make if we're in a, you know, I mean, the place is huge. You can spend your whole life and not see a tenth of it, or even a hundredth of it. You can travel your whole life and not even see a hundredth of it, and that doesn't even account for what's below the sea, which is even more.
No, it makes me believe less in God. You see, your theory makes
Uh-huh.
me believe less in God.
Why?
Because why create just this thing, a flying disc in the middle of the nowhere, and then have his children be lied to for so long? No
Well,
way. It's just
well, wait a minute. Hold on.
creepy. It's creepy. It's torture.
But you believe in evils. You believe in evil. The Brill, right? The
Oh, yeah.
reptilians,
Yeah.
and they're evil.
But they're also just a different species.
Okay.
They're not
See,
like demons or gods or demigods or anything like that. They're just evil alien species.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
Carolyn, do you believe you have an everlasting soul?
Which proves that there's another astral plane and not just this earth.
Okay, but my point is that this
Oh,
is
I don't
just
know if I believe that exactly, but go on.
okay.
It is another conspiracy.
So you didn't exist before you were born.
I told you before, I believe I did.
I know you did. I framed it exactly that way
Right.
on purpose. See, I knew your answer. Okay, so you existed before you were born, and you know in your heart you did. You did. You're not
I
going to get an
remember it.
argument.
I
You're not going to get an
remember as
argument
clear as
from
I
me.
remember yesterday what I didn't eat because I don't remember eating yesterday, but just kidding, go on.
Well, my point is, you're not going to get an argument from me because I'm on your side. I know what you experience, and I can feel what you experience. Okay.
That I believe.
Okay. So
That I do believe.
this is just how Bill Hicks, the comedian, used to put it so well. It's just an amusement ride, you know. And far be it that how can we know what is good if we don't have evil or bad as an example?
See, I don't like that.
And nothing is evil
That's
that
human philosophy. That's not a godly one. That's
well,
so small to me. Good and bad. I mean, that's what we're here for. We're obviously seeing that there's bad and we're trying to fight it. That's so easy. You're going to tell me an omnipotent God thought of that and is putting us through that? I just don't see it. I can't buy that. Now,
what
if a God had to deal with billions of different creations that he's capable of doing, then I could see him sending angels of light and everybody else and other beings and stuff to help, which is what I believe is going on now with the white hats. The white hats are aliens. And I don't think they're next door over some ice sculpture. I'm sorry. I just don't. They're out there. They're out there. I
one of the tenets of my belief of spiritualism is the continuity of life. The mediums who are able to communicate with folks who are not here with us physically, and they understand that that's a reality.
I could pick, you know how I've studied those so well that I could see one facial expression and know if they're lying.
Okay,
Because there are the facial,
okay,
movements that they make, the throat and their eyes. And, oh
okay,
God, John Edwards and that
okay,
big shit Brown. I couldn't
okay.
wait till she died. Hey, why didn't you come back to us, Sylvia Brown? Monty, what was his name? Montel Williams used to have her on all the time. Such bullshit.
Oh yeah.
I do not believe in because
Okay.
if you're truly able to, which I am, I have read numbers since I can remember. And if you're truly able to give that gift, you never ask for money. Never, ever, ever ask for money. And that's what humanity is about, not asking for fucking money all the time, power and greed. And that's so, that sounds like ancient witchcraft to me. It doesn't sound like anything plausible. And even if I believed all our sciences were fake, I still wouldn't think that God would just do us. Like on this, I mean, this plane, even if it was billion miles long, I still wouldn't believe it's just one rock. I can't, it just doesn't. And then what are the little twinkle twinkle little stars? What are they? Because he didn't make that song. There's no way. And he was definitely part of the Mason, you know, Mozart, Beethoven. Was it Mozart that did Twinkle Twinkle? Yeah. Why do they twinkle? Is that why the flat earthers believe there's water out there? I mean, what is that shit out there? I don't know. They also think that there's conspiracies that think the mountains are old dragons sleeping.
Right.
I don't know. I guess is the most fundamental answer you can give. I don't know. I don't feel like it's right. I don't personally feel like that's right. It doesn't, that's why it's always been 49-51. There were some things you said earlier that made me go 50-50, but I bounced back.
Like what?
Our discussion earlier, I don't know, you were very convincing.
Mhm.
And but it isn't anything I haven't thought about. You did bring certain perspectives in, but it easily as well could be a psyop to get you guys to think something totally different that isn't true. To me, that makes God smaller. To only create one plane with a few, maybe even a million aliens or whatever, it's just too small for such a beautiful God. It's too small. And then it also goes against the Matrix and everything happening. The fires and the bridges collapsing and the train derailments and De Niro coming out being the savior to the Democrats and Mark Hamill and like that's all part of the show, right? Nobody else brings it up. I mean, what does Space Force do? What
Good
is space?
question.
What are they? They're meeting only aliens that live over an ice wall? That doesn't seem like a feat to me.
What are they doing? Period.
I don't know. I just don't see it. It doesn't feel right. There's more. And maybe you're right. Maybe it's like the other plane of our soul's existence, the astral plane, as some may refer to it. And maybe that makes the universe much bigger. Because for now, we're just little ants doing God's work on this planet to straighten this planet out. And we're supposed to remember why we're here. But the evil forces don't let us, the Vril, right? We're in their matrix. So if we're in their matrix, then
Hmm.
that ice wall would be part of it. Does that make sense?
I
Did I
it
just
makes
bring a
sense.
totally new concept to the game?
Well, no, it's fine. It makes sense to you. That's the most important thing.
And you've seen the star stations, right? The generators.
I know. I don't know what they are.
Let me see if I have any. That's another flat earther's belief.
Okay.
So let me see if I have
The
one.
generators.
Those star generators, sure. I might have one here. Oh, there's, of course, thankfully. I'm not disagreeing, but I'm not agreeing either. We're gonna get off soon, by the way. I really like
Yeah.
my. Let me just see if I can
Yeah,
find.
very interesting conversation today.
I get very very
Mhm.
confused. I absolutely could see. I mean, we're all indoctrinated with science and technology and whatever.
Everything.
It's indoctrination. So who
With
really?
everything.
Here you go. These are all around the old cities.
Yep.
Now you know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Okay. And do you believe this is where, yeah, this is the right. See, Venice makes sense to me. Unfortunately, their water is so damaged, so disgusting. They can't use the energy from it.
Aren't they cleaning it out? Supposedly? I heard they were cleaning out the waterways.
Why haven't they done it already? It's not like we don't
Exactly.
understand. Oh, why didn't they just throw a bunch of fluoride in it like they do here and make us all drink, right?
Right?
So this would have to be in the according to that map that you showed, we're in the inner circumference of the circle.
Right.
And then there's an ice wall around us. Does that mean around them is all cold?
No, they have warm islands like we have of habitation. They have their own. They have their own uh, existence. They're in the outer. They're in the outer space.
I
Hold
don't
on.
know. It's definitely something to think about. Something I don't know. Yes, I'd like to see that again. Now, what about the ancient cities? Where were they? Babylon, Atlantis.
We don't.
Uh,
We don't. We don't have a great idea. This is just someone's interpretation of it, as to what it might be. We don't.
Asgard. Asgard is where Thor is from.
Right.
So if we
And
believe in Thor, shouldn't we believe in all the Avengers?
there you
all
go.
the ancient gods? I mean, then there's,
See, this is the one
Isis and
that makes
Ra.
this is the one that makes me think of the fact that the Mars is actually a their sun.
But Mars can't be hot enough. How could it
Or
be? That's what I'm saying. They
it
must be
can if it's only
freezing.
3,000 miles above them.
Yeah, but
You're thinking Mars is
no, no,
millions of
no.
miles.
I'm not. I'm thinking Mars is just not that hot. Like it's not that hot enough to warm a landmass. I don't care if it's 1,000. I mean, if it was any closer, we'd see it closer.
Well, we do see it. We see it off as a wandering star.
Yeah, no, I know. I definitely have seen
They
Mars with my naked eye.
they,
But
they didn't call them planets. They called them stars.
well,
Didn't they?
stars
Did,
is stella for Greek and means in space. Anything in space. That's just wording.
okay.
And where does the word Mars comes from? Tell me that.
Well, the only thing I know
Did
is
the word Martian come first, or did the word Mars?
no. Mars is a Greek god.
Yes. You see, now that's what I'm saying. You're gonna have to make me believe that there's all these gods.
I don't have to believe. I don't have to make you do anything.
No, 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 I didn't.
And I'm not trying to convince you.
Oh, I
To,
know that.
to tell you the truth,
This is a discussion of, I'm trying to I'm
tell you
trying
the
to be neutral. I'm trying to think both ways.
Well, to tell you the truth is, I don't know, but I'm saying, how is how is it that the Earth is if you conclude that the Earth is flat, then what happens beyond the ice wall? And that people have speculated, but do they know? No, we're not allowed out there. But there are stories of people who breach the ice wall and meet up with folks that speak English beyond. And they tell them that, yeah, we used to live where you live, but we decided to move away because we didn't like the way the earth was going. We didn't like the way the politics were, or the wars that you were having and everything. We moved away. I'm not saying that's a true story or not, but
No, I know.
it does put it out there. It's no more different than some of the other things that have been postulated as far as where we are, who we are, and why.
Why? So how would it be around ice wall perimeter? Why ice? Like why? That would mean that the sun would have to stay kind of like in the middle to keep that ice the coldest. Do you see what I'm saying?
I do. I have an answer for that.
Do you?
I do. Let me see
That
if I can
doesn't
pull it.
surprise me, Charlie. You're really good at this stuff. I met somebody on my
Yeah, it got me questioning it too, so it's all good.
You got to remember that
Not there
Antarctica
yet.
is a continent. It's a
Hmm.
landmass. Unlike
I've seen this too, that's right.
The North Pole, unlike the North Pole, that's just nothing but water, frozen water. But and if the sun is not that far up in the sky, and it it travels around, it travels around. It travels around according to the between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn, depending upon when the seasons are. Okay, and
That was
so
supposed to be changed on our maps.
what was
The Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. It's supposed to be changed. That's 2,000 years old already.
yeah, but it still is the high point of the solstice. So in other words, in about 20 days from now, or in 18
Oh,
days,
I know. Yes.
the sun
Summer
is going to be
solstice. Yes.
directly over the Tropic of Cancer. And because, like, I live in Maine, so I'm so many degrees north of the Tropic of, I think I'm like, I'm near the 45th parallel. I think the Tropic of Cancer is like the 20th. So there's almost 25 degrees. I live 25 degrees further north towards the center. And
Okay.
the sun's going to be hovering around the Tropic of Cancer, so that's why we're warm in the summer. But then when it's out near the Tropic of Capricorn, then that's when we get colder. Has this ever have you ever
Yes, but you do understand, like, why are they on our maps?
what do you
Why?
mean? What on what map?
There's solstice, right? That's the sun.
Mhm.
Yeah,
What does that have to do with our maps? You know, like, for example, I had a globe growing up. It was a huge globe, and it had this ring around it, believe it or not. And when you opened it up, it was a small
yeah,
bar,
yeah.
and it had the Tropic of Cancer and but why on the map? Why on the globe? If it's you're telling me it's a directional, like you're 25, what did you say? What did you say? How far were you from it or something?
I'm near the 45th parallel.
45th parallel. That's
Yeah,
parallel.
the 45th
Mhm.
latitude, and I believe that the Tropic of Cancer is either on the 15th or the 20th. I'm not really sure. In other words, it's 15 or 20 degrees north of the equator.
When I had to do my telescope, uh, my Meade telescope, I'd have to put those certain coordinates in first.
Okay.
And I always wondered, like, I can't even, how do I explain this? Is there a map on top of a map? Does that make sense? Is there,
No, I'm sorry, I don't understand that. Okay, here we go.
instead of, instead of it being outer ring,
Okay.
what if it was like on top of us or underneath us? Oh,
What if,
yes, I've seen that too. Yeah.
You
why
mean
would
the
it,
underneath?
Do you know, like the pyramid, you
Like
have
there's a
Earth on
land
the top
underneath
in
it?
the middle, and then, but this would go against the ice wall, and then underneath would be another civilization, and it might be on the brink, on there's a outer layer, and then down again, because it's all about perception, isn't it? So this could be the top could be the biggest part, and there could be a cone under there.
okay.
I've seen the UN flag thing. Yeah.
There was one more that
Interesting.
might help
Very
you.
interesting.
Um, there you go. This is ancient,
I forgot about half of this stuff, but
this is ancient, but this talks about Genesis. This is what the ancients used to believe.
hold on one second. I want to look something up before I say forget. You could explain it to Joe.
And I'm not saying I believe it, uh, but this is their drawing.
Yes.
What I'm at, why is there a solstice on the globe, on the map? Why?
Solstice.
Yeah. The Tropic of Cancer. I mean, this is
Well,
all
well,
in
it's where
regards to the equator and the furthest away from the sun, and then I why would it be on the map is what I'm asking.
well, that's
Is
the
there an
furthest thing.
astrological map and then I'm sorry, can I see that again anyhow?
Sure.
I didn't
Which
get
one?
to see the one that you just posted.
The
The
one
one
I
you just
just put.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't get to read it. Joe,
That
you
one
look
now
tired.
that one
Everybody's
makes
getting
me
tired, so we'll leave
claustrophobic.
soon. I'm
That one
sorry.
makes me claustrophobic.
That's what I'm saying. This kills me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's something in my gut that's just like, oh, please no.
Don't let it be that.
Yes, I've seen this before too. Oh yeah, you see there is something under it, right? And what about in the Bible where it says it does call it a dome and it says that it's on four pedestals?
Uh-huh. Oh, it's a literary description.
I don't understand why God would do this. Like for what? For what? It's almost too simple. And I'm supposed to be like, oh, my anatomy? Big shit. I would have rather have been an amoeba and not have gone through any of this. Do you know what I'm saying? It just that really, for some reason, that is having, oh, we can't see it too well.
Yeah, I wish I could. I wish
I
I could
have
share
seen
with you.
some of the older clocks.
Let me see if I can unblur myself. I I have this background effect. There we
Like
go.
the grandfather clocks. Why is there a solstice? Why is there
No,
right?
That's a
oh,
great app. That's a great app
oh
to get.
yeah.
And it what it does is it also gives you flat Earth videos that are not censored by YouTube. YouTube's been doing a number on them, but that shows
Yeah. It
that
would be
shows
their greatest secret. It would be the greatest secret of mankind.
right. That shows the sun and the moon
Yeah.
traveling around. Like right now, we're close to the Tropic of Cancer, so that's why the sun's above the inner wall. But next winter it'll be out with that outer ring, and the moon travels just a little bit faster than the sun does, so that's why we have eclipses. And the moon is exactly the same size, and the moon is its own light source. It's not lit up by the sun.
Well, there was a man in 1955. He was a scientist. He said that the moon was some kind of, what did he say? Geez, what did he say it was? Plasma or something? It was weird. No, it wasn't plasma. But that was around the time of Bird, too. Right before they took their first launch. That is a good app. You could put it down. You must be killing your hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
See,
It's
that's what I
hold it up
mean.
there forever.
And every day they have a featured video where
Mm.
you can watch and just listen and take it in and say, okay, I understand.
That's what I'm trying to suggest. There's a map. There's always been a map on top of a map on top of a map. You
Right.
have the stars that give us a different map. Yeah.
This weapons systems officer confirms that there's a flat Earth. You know. Anyway,
It's such a it's ah.
I
But
don't.
why is it having the opposite effect on me?
Do you have Apple?
It's a no,
Mm-mm.
But I think
absolutely.
I think it's an Android too. It's called the Flat Earth Clock, FE Clock.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
FE clock. Gotcha.
yeah.
I'm gonna still look at the stuff you gave me. I like to do that before I go to sleep. I like to look at apps everybody sends me, not apps,
Yeah. Now I got to get going pretty soon
video.
to myself.
Yeah, let's say goodnight.
Mhm.
I just wanna understand this. We're inside a firmament, but are they inside the same firmament?
We don't know. They may have their own dome. They may have their own celestial dome.
That would be a dome on
A
top of
double
a
dome
dome.
on us.
Yeah, exactly. Wouldn't that be a double dome? You know what? Let's cut this for tonight. It was really interesting.
Yeah, it was. We got
There were a
lots
few
of
people in
questions
the
to get
chat that
into.
been coming and going, and then they're like, "Oh God, I'll watch this shit later." I don't blame them. Fast
Yeah.
forward during, through the boring parts, but
Well,
try to learn something, people.
they may not have their own dome because remember I was telling you that Mars might be their sun and Venus might be that other
Oh,
land's sun.
yes, okay.
So we see Mars with the naked eye. I just don't see it being hot enough it doesn't affect us in any way if it's that close. Why would it affect them? Mars and Venus is our sister planet
Yeah, but you're thinking out in space. I'm talking about them only being a few thousand miles
in our firms.
over there. I'm thinking thousands of miles. You're thinking out in space millions of miles.
No, I can understand it being inside the oven. That's how Patch used to put it. You're not going to warm up something unless the element is inside the oven with you. That's how he used to put it. So I definitely understand it being closer. I just, I
Well,
think,
you know how you used to question when you were little. You know what I used to question. Okay, two things. One,
1 minute.
the sun is 93 million miles away, and it is shining on our Earth. And the only difference that makes the North Pole frozen and the South Pole frozen is a slight tilt of the Earth. The distance from the sun is minuscule. The sun coming in, it hits the Earth, and we're not talking thousands and thousands of miles. We're
Carl
talking,
Sagan would hate us.
and it just made zero sense of how something that was 93 million miles away can make the equator and those Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn very hot, but we're up in Maine, we're freezing to death, and we're only a few thousand miles north. That makes zero sense.
Yes, I could see that too.
That one, and have you ever taken a basketball and soaked it full of water? Okay, and then you threw it up in the air and you spun it. What happened to all the water? It flew off the surface. And you
Well, there's
can't,
not enough gravity
and
to
you
hold
can't, but you can't have a vacuum next to an atmosphere.
But that's only knowledge that we know.
No, that's knowledge that the scientists say.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Indoctrinated scientists.
Nature abhors a vacuum. Anytime you have a vacuum next to an atmosphere, the atmosphere will be filling the vacuum.
No, I believe that too. I do.
So how the heck can you have a whole space of vacuum next to an atmosphere of a planet? That makes zero
Maybe
sense.
the vril is keeping us in the firmament. Maybe the firmament is the matrix.
Okay.
Because I absolutely believe that we were under control because there's a difference. There's the cabal.
Yeah.
And then there was the demon, the alien.
Yeah. We've lost poor Joe.
So maybe I could settle this for myself.
He's going there. Yeah, he's going.
Sleeping. He's
Go,
sleeping.
Joe, go.
I gotta go, man, because I got work. So I'll see you
I'll
guys
see you in the
tomorrow,
morning.
man.
We're out of here in 2 minutes. I
It's
just
been
want
fun.
All right. I'll talk
It's
to you
been
guys
fun.
tomorrow. I'm
Sweet
sorry.
dreams, Joe. Okay. I'm telling you, you're very good. You are very good. I did not delve as much into the flat earth as I guess I thought I did. Although many of the images you brought up I've seen before. I just actually have forgotten them in the last 4 years or something. Because like I said, regardless if it is true or not, it is not the most important thing we must be doing. We can't control what the earth looks like. We have to control what's on the earth, right? So that's my main goal.
You know
But
that video I sent you about David Weiss and the DIRTH, deep inside the rabbit hole? I messaged you with it.
Yes, the video.
I watched that because I like to watch his stuff. Now it is older; it's like 2 or 3 years older, but it's still relevant. And he touches upon a lot of the questions that you just asked tonight. He goes into detail, but he doesn't do it. He doesn't do it with, like facts and figures. I mean, so that it's all scientific and you're lost. It's very, very. He explains things very well. He's very articulate.
That's always a plus for me. I love articulate people. I'm not very good, but
so enjoy that video, and then we'll talk again.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
Probably tonight, actually. I could watch something while I'm going to sleep.
There you go.
So this was very enjoyable, everybody. Thanks for joining us. If you were there, stopped in, have any questions, please leave a comment. And Charles, thank you for coming on in again. I could talk to you for hours. I seriously can. I could go on. I mean, we were talking way earlier all day, and then we went to the Long MacArthur Ford uh convention. What does he call himself?
Yeah, Ford Video Guy, and
Ford
it's
video
a
guy.
he
That
does it
is
live. He does a live stream every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock Eastern time
right.
for
It was
two and a
fun.
half hours. Yeah,
Yeah, I actually learned a few things I never knew before, but they were just real humble hosts. It was, they were sweet. I liked their charisma together too. So it's even if someone like me that's not interested in Fords, I got a kick out of it, I really did. But he was very artsy. They
yeah,
both are. They're
yeah.
very artsy people.
Oh yeah,
So and informative and
yeah.
and Joe, oh, it was great. It was great. All right, guys, we hope to see you soon. We'll let you know when we're going live again. Take care, all. Say bye, Charles.
Good night. Bye, everyone.
Charles.